2 weeks and 46 games ago, 48 teams had an eye on the prize. 46 teams are gone, and 2 remain. The championship game of the 2008 Women's National Invitation Tournament is next on CBS College Sports. Big Ten, Big East, big game. At the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan, on the campus of Michigan State University, it's Spartans and Golden Eagles as Marquette pays a visit to Michigan State to vie for the title of the WNIT Championship Tournament in 2008. Taking a look at the road to the finals for Marquette, they stayed home twice and then got on the road, and that could help today as a big crowd has turned out in East Lansing. That 14-point victory in Colorado a couple of nights ago put Marquette here today for the championship game. Meanwhile, for the Spartans of Michigan State, it's been all home cooking throughout the WNIT, but tight contests. 8 points in the first game, and then 4 points, 5 points in overtime, and a 1-point game on April 2nd against NC State. Welcome inside the Breslin Center. I'm Thad Anderson with Tracy Warren, and Tracy, for Marquette, it's perimeter play. For Michigan State, the power is in the post.
Yeah, for Marquette, it begins with their guard play. First team all Big East, Krystal Ellis, and boy, she is the consummate scoring guard. She can do it in the open floor. She can penetrate. She can do it off the screen. She already has 40 points in one WNIT game so far in this tournament. She accounts for over 25% of the team's scoring. 101
points through 4 WNIT games to date, and she could set the record today with a big day, could Krystal Ellis for Marquette. She could set the scoring record for the WNIT. Flip it over and get with Michigan State and get big.
First team all Big Ten, and Allyssa DeHaan. She is 6'9". She's 6 inches taller than the tallest Marquette player. Great touch from 15 feet and in, but what she can do on the defensive end, second in the nation in blocks. She disrupts a lot of shots. We'll see a lot of traffic in the paint today.
Allyssa DeHaan, the center of the Michigan State attack. And we're back for championship basketball after this timeout on CBS College Sports. I think it matters. The Spartan fans have turned out in force, but Marquette players have said they feed off the energy of a hostile crowd, and we've got plenty of people here today to take a look at the WNIT championship game. Back at the Breslin Center, a look at the starting lineups for today's matchup for Marquette. Coming into the contest, Angel Robinson, a talented freshman, lots to talk about there, along with Krystal Ellis joining that starting lineup with Janelle Harris as a sophomore jumping in at guard, and 2 forwards. It's Svetlana Kovalenko and Jocelyn Mellon. On Michigan State side of the coin, Brittany Thomas, talented guard freshman, joined by Maya Johnson, and the third guard, Mandy Piowski. Kalisha Keane and Allyssa DeHaan, who we talked about moments ago, are the talented 5 on the court for the Spartans today. Take a look at head coach for the Golden Eagles of Marquette, 12 years for Terry Mitchell in Milwaukee, and just a pleasure to talk to. Never met her before today, had I, and I enjoyed our time with Coach Mitchell today. She's going to square up today against the first-year coach at Michigan State, and that's Susie Merchant, and no different. A great time talking to Coach Merchant today. Both of these programs led by just quality women who are among the finer coaches you'll run into around the NCAA.
We were doing a great job with a very young team. Michigan State starting 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore and a junior. Marquette starting 2 freshmen, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior. For the Spartans, 80% of their scoring will come from that underclassmen. It is so amazing that both of these teams have made it their way to the WNIT championship. A lot of grit, a lot of determination, lots of talent, and some great coaching.
The players are in position at center court. The toss is up, the tip is tapped, we're underway in the 2008 WNIT championship game, Michigan State basketball. Coach Terry Mitchell from Marquette said they will start the first time out with something into the post for DeHaan. Let's see what the Spartans offense opens up with.
So often you like to see how teams open up on offense. You're watching how Marquette opens up on defense.
Steal and a basket, that's Angel Robinson, who set a freshman record for steals this year, beat her teammate's freshman record, Krystal Ellis, and she gets one right out of the gates, and that's a problem right away for the Spartans. There's a drive and a basket and a foul, so Michigan State will answer with a quick 2 and a chance for a +1 as Kalisha Keane took it to the basket.
One of the things Susie Merchant has professed for her guards is when they're facing tenacious guard defense, like Marquette is throwing at them, drive. And that's a great recognition right out of the gate to do that for Michigan State.
That was Maya Johnson to the basket, my mistake. Kalisha Keane will be going to the basket a lot, but Maya Johnson with the first drive and the bucket and the one. And it's 3-2, home team. Spartans on top. That's Kalisha Keane on top with pressure defense, which is something that Coach Susie Merchant talked about this morning. We're going to have to pressure that basketball. Shot is no good for Angel Robinson, but back to Marquette. Marquette, one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the Big East. There's a three-point try, and it's good. Krystal Ellis, who is the team's leading scorer at almost 20 points per game, hits a three to put her team back on top in the early going.
Physical contact and success. Terry Mitchell said really going to be important how the officials call this. They're allowing the contact early.
Long rebound off the miss by Maya Johnson. Trying the interior pass, but off the glass it goes, and Marquette has the basketball. First possession, a steal for Marquette. That is job one for the Spartans, is protect the basketball. Marquette, a tough defense. Big steals all year long. We got a whistle underneath, and it's going to go Michigan State's direction.
Already you can feel the tempo going Marquette's way. It was key for Marquette, who said, we want to force Michigan State into turnovers, and we want to get in our transition offense and push that ball up the floor. They were successful in the game against Colorado, got the Buffaloes on their heels. They've been successful in dictating the tempo, but yet Michigan State has to get in that quarter-court offense, get the ball to DeHaan.
Sophomore starter Janelle Harris with 2 fouls, and she's out, and there's a basket for Michigan State.
6'9" to 6'1". You can't really stop that when your entry passes from your 6'9" center.
Kalisha Keane with the basket, great high-low, missed shot. Hustling on the offensive glass, tipping out of bounds for Marquette was Erin Monfre. It's Michigan State basketball.
The great high-low. This is great distribution. DeHaan finding underneath. Good job of the look to Keane. They work so well together. Keane, another great freshman standout for Susie Merchant's squad.
Kalisha Keane, 12 points per contest. She's driving here on the left side, steps around, and traveling violation is the call. We're tied up at 5 points apiece, just a couple of minutes into the WNIT championship game, with Michigan State and Marquette on the floor. Pace is up to start this one, as you might have expected, and Marquette likes things that way. Maintaining the dribble, Krystal Ellis to the floor, and inside we've got a foul. Going to the basket was Jocelyn Mellon, and she draws the contact from Allyssa DeHaan.
Well, Susie Merchant want to travel on that because you're wondering how can Ellis keep that ball alive on the floor, gets the call, and now Marquette will get their opportunities at the line. But defense is going to be so much a part of this championship. Watching Michigan State, #1 in the Big Ten in defensive field goal percentage, and Marquette very aggressive with the steals.
You're looking at Allyssa DeHaan on the low left blocks for Michigan State, and she's got the rebound. Allyssa DeHaan picked up that foul, but looking at their season statistics, she started all 36 games. Allyssa DeHaan has not fouled out of any basketball game all season. Early on, Michigan State 3 turnovers. That is the problem area that they do not want to see happen against this tough Marquette defense. The athletic, stealing, full court transitioning Golden Eagles. Reach in foul.
See how frenetic this pace is? You just talked about turnovers. How many does Marquette force with their steals, and how many does Michigan State do to themselves by walks or turnovers? They have to cut down. Susie Merchant's priority this year was limit the turnovers.
Kalisha Keane works her way to the right side rim, but can't get the shot to go. Look out, here comes Krystal Ellis. No good, a little strong.
Very
and
early
Michigan State's got it.
In the shot clock, and that is something Terry Mitchell would like to see Marquette work on the offense now.
Well, Michigan State looks comfortable running at the moment. That's not the RX by Coach Merchant today, but they're getting up and down the floor with Marquette so far.
Well, you're going to test the wheels of DeHaan, and of course they just came off a game against NC State, very athletic ACC team, which they won by 1 point in the last seconds. DeHaan, a key factor.
DeHaan almost got the basket down. Instead, she'll shoot 2 free throws. The foul, senior Svetlana Kovalenko. And for Kovalenko, this is her 131st game for Marquette, a school record. Congratulations to Svetlana Kovalenko. Long and prosperous career in Milwaukee at Marquette. Allyssa DeHaan hits the free throws, and she'll check out, replaced by Lauren H., who is capable of getting some things done down low herself.
Already Spartans 2 substitutions early. Marquette will play 10 deep.
Here's Keane with the takeaway. Missed it off the front iron. Marquette gets it back. Allyssa DeHaan hit those 2 free throws. She can shoot the free throws. She doesn't foul a lot, and she does well at the line, and that would be one of those things you would think, well, she's 6'9", but maybe we can take some strategy to take her out of the game. Really, DeHaan can do just about anything you force her to do, and she's been great at the free throw line all year. Marquette works the half court, loose ball. And we're going to get a foul call against Michigan State. Looks like Satara Washington. Her first personal foul.
No, another one of those great freshmen for Michigan State in Washington out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Just look at the hustle here for the ball. Think these guys don't want a WNIT championship?
Well, the fans are interested, and these teams are too. I know Marquette, a couple of players commented when they got in the bracket, it was their idea to get here. That was the whole point. Of course, any team thinks that, but they felt destined from the moment it was named. Spartans with the swat. And that doesn't happen all the time when Allyssa DeHaan's not on the floor, but they get the block shot inside, and Michigan State has the basketball back.
Keane had the block, and Keane has had the last 4 or 5 shots down the floor for Michigan State. Got to get somebody else involved in the offense.
Shot attempt, no good for the Spartans. Out of bounds, rebound tipped by Kalisha Keane. And we've got our first timeout of the first half. Marquette working inside, but not happening with Kalisha Keane sending it away. Michigan State up by 1, the WNIT championship game. It's the Spartans' home game, but at least for Marquette, if they just turn around and look behind themselves, they feel a little bit at home over there with the Golden Eagle faithful.
A lot of fans making the 6-hour journey from Marquette, coming through over the lake. What a great support system for Marquette. It's why Terry Mitchell loves to coach there. That, and you've got some of the most talented teams in the Big East. I wasn't surprised that when we saw a Big Ten and a Big East team in this WNIT championship. They're 2 of the more physical conferences, 2 of the more talented conferences in women's basketball.
Thad Anderson and Tracy Warren back with you from the Breslin Center at Michigan State. There you see the early shooting numbers in the WNIT championship game, and there's a shot that's going to count. 3-point basket for Erin Monfre.
Great timeout by Terry Mitchell. She wanted to at least get somebody in a position to shoot rather than Ellis or Robinson on the offense. Get somebody in the offensive flow, and she's got the 3-point shooters.
Erin Monfre, 26% from three-point land so far through the season. That one was dead on. Out of bounds, Michigan State retains the basketball.
You could see Monfre just spotting up, and Michigan State doesn't step out to guard her, and that junior's got some good range from downtown. That'll start to open things up for the likes of Ellis and Robinson.
5 seconds on the shot clock. A little bit of rim for Brittany Thomas. No good, and Marquette has it. Golden Eagles with a 2-point lead and a chance to extend.
Nice transition D by Michigan State, getting back quickly, anticipating Marquette's run.
Whistle and a foul on the shot attempt. Brittany Thomas came out late on the shot. Good open look so far for Marquette with the ball movement. They've had several open opportunities.
Absolutely, and this is a team that's more known for its penetration and run. Angel Robinson, who is on the line now, is known for her quickness. See if she can get it done from the line.
70% free throw shooter, hits the first as Angel Robinson. Big East all-freshman team for the free throw shooter. Also set the freshman scoring record at Marquette coming into this game with 383 points. Has gotten a lot of good things done in her first year out of Central High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. One more free throw coming up for Angel Robinson. Courtney Davidson checking in for Michigan State.
Robinson so key under pressure. You love that performance from a freshman. Came right in, took over that point guard spot when Ellis really didn't want to be the point guard leader, and she is so quick on the defensive end.
11-7, Marquette now with a 4-point lead. Marquette working the boards, and that is into the hands of the Golden Eagles. Svetlana Kovalenko, the leading rebounder with 7 per game for Marquette.
Yeah, you like her big 6'3" frame. You see what a difference it is when DeHaan's not in the game. really Marquette fighting for the ball, boxing out, doing a nice job on the boards.
There's a shot for Kovalenko, and she hits it, and Marquette starting to extend now to a 6-point lead. Kovalenko grew up in St. Petersburg, Russia, relocated to Houghton, Michigan for her high school years. More pressure by the Golden Eagles. Spartans get the ball back. Courtney Davidson, who checked in a moment ago, is the leading 3-point threat for Michigan State.
Spartans seeing a little bit of a zone defense, so now they're trying to figure it out. They'll use a lot of that shot clock. They'll use some man principles weaving in and out, but right now, Keane's going to take it.
Hard off the iron, no good. And Marquette has the basketball, 6-point game. Lob inside, Kovalenko scores off the assist from Krystal Ellis, and that means timeout for head coach Susie Merchant and the Spartans of Michigan State. 30-second call. Michigan State needs a stop as they have given up 9 consecutive points to Marquette and trail by 8.
What Marquette did great out of that timeout is they got some other players established in the offense. They got Kovalenko established from long distance. They also got Erin Monfre from long distance. So they're starting to get that offense spread out. This is a high-scoring team, 7th in the Big East in scoring. And all throughout this WNIT tournament, they've relied on Ellis and Robinson establishing some other people early.
Michigan State coach Susie Merchant, talking before the game today, said, and she just said very honestly, they're more athletic than we are. And if it turns into that style of game, we have concerns. It just turned into that style of game for the last couple of minutes on the clock. Michigan State will now take the basketball and try to reestablish. They've got DeHaan back in the lineup, the 6'9" center. That's Thomas with the ball into the corner to Satara Washington, no good. Cold shooting for Michigan State.
And no weak side rebounding for the Spartans. It's either DeHaan or no one. The guards typically crash for Michigan State. I'm not seeing a lot of that here in the early going.
To the basket, dump a pass to Kovalenko. Good movement of the ball, but taken away as Angel Robinson could not convert the assist. Here come the Spartans. Kovalenko in front of the pass to DeHaan. Krystal Ellis drives, dishes back. 3 on the way, that's no good for Erin Monfre, but Marquette has it back. Unbelievable finish by Krystal Ellis. She looked up and went, uh-oh, 6'9", and then went by the hip of Allyssa DeHaan with the shot and counted.
Wow, it's that first step, puts a defender on the floor, goes up and under, the acrobatic Ellis. No wonder first team all Big East. Boy, I love the offensive sharing and the production from Marquette here in the early going.
10-point lead for Marquette, 17-7 as we tick down to about 12-15, and now under. Shot partially blocked. Kovalenko tries to outlet, but Brittany Thomas hustles back and draws a foul committed by Krystal Ellis.
Take a look at Ellis, the up and under, the 6'9" DeHaan. Remember, second in the nation in blocks. She's coming right at you, but Ellis decides to go right under, changes hands, and still gets that ball to go. That is the hallmark. First team all Big East, outstanding.
What a finish for Krystal Ellis. First personal foul committed. And Michigan State takes it back. 12 minutes to go in the first half. 17-7, Marquette on top.
Spartans need to establish somebody on offense. They're trying to get the ball into DeHaan, but she's getting pushed around a lot.
Another rebound for Marquette as Satara Washington missed the shot. Ellis finishes again. Krystal Ellis with another basket.
And what she did is she drew contact from Courtney Davidson and still made the basket. I mean, that's really heavy-duty concentration for Ellis.
Brittany Thomas and Courtney Davidson up high for Michigan State. DeHaan out in the corner now.
Yeah, out in the corner, way out in the corner. And do you want your 6'9" center way out? There she goes. They got to hit her there. There's
a foul as DeHaan made the cut. Looks like Svetlana Kovalenko will pick up that foul. She will. And we've got a timeout. Free throws coming up for Michigan State after the break with Marquette on top by a dozen. The WNIT relies on Vista Travel for all of their airline needs. When you need a professional, call Vista Travel, celebrating 36 years of providing customers with the best travel services available. Travelwithvista.com. Marquette all over Michigan State in the early going of the WNIT championship game. And that leads to some thinking forward for the Spartans. You see a list of their big comebacks, double-digit comebacks this year. They've done it multiple times, and they've got to go to work right now. The first 9 minutes, call it 8 minutes and 44 seconds of this game, have been mostly Marquette. Allyssa DeHaan at the line after being fouled before the break, and she hits that first free throw. Checking back in is Kalisha Keane onto the court. She is replacing the Spartans' Tasha Wilson. One more free throw for Allyssa DeHaan, trying to make it a 10-point game.
All of DeHaan's points have come off the charity stripe. They need to establish her on the low block, still a little bit more high-low with her.
Three-point shot is good for Erin Monfre, who's hit a couple of threes now. Those free throws by DeHaan broke a 13-0 Marquette run, but Monfre comes right back and gets the points back +1. Jumping the ball inside, good denial by Kelly Lamb for Marquette. Kelly Lamb, the junior from Brookfield, Wisconsin.
Marquette getting it done from long distance. They got the arsenal of three-point shooters, and today they are establishing it from the outside. You don't really see that all the time from Marquette in Big East play, but they have come open today, staying away from DeHaan, recognizing opportunities.
Baseline kicked by DeHaan. Driving a shot by Maya Johnson. It's no good, but tipped out of bounds by Marquette. Back to the offense. Go the Spartans. DeHaan inbounded last time. This time Kalisha Keane will be the trigger on the baseline. Maya Johnson quick for three just to beat the shot clock. No good. And Marquette out running again. Here's Krystal Ellis. And she finishes again. Krystal Ellis, a lot of time around the rim so far today.
Well, again, when you have that young defense of Michigan State, nobody got back. Gave Ellis that one step. That's all she needs.
Big crowd, a little bit stunned right now with the 15-point game. And a traveling violation. And it goes back to Marquette.
And you see off the rebound, the long rebound, already Marquette on the run, already Ellis in a position to receive and score. And that's how they've got a lot of their points.
Krystal Ellis' mom enjoying herself as she's watched the daughter perform very well to this point in the WNIT championship game. The one-hand control on that pass by Krystal Ellis. Outstanding ball control, and she got the finish.
And Ellis has had kind of an up and down year. You know, she's a junior, she's a veteran on this team. She said, hey, coach, I don't want to be the leader. Make someone else the leader. I just want to score. And coach said, okay, we'll make you the two guard. You can score. But also during the season, Krystal Ellis was benched. One, because her shot selection wasn't good. And two, about 7 games ago, right before the Big East tournament, for violation of team rules, they benched their leading scorer in Krystal Ellis. They went on to lose. It was a lesson learned. And Terry Mitchell said from that point on, we have come together and we have won.
See those Krystal Ellis t-shirts being sported by Krystal's cheering contingent. And they've been cheering a lot to this point in the game. Krystal Ellis with 9 points already of her team's 24. Corner. Monfre missed that one. Lamb working the offensive glass, keeping it alive, and Marquette takes the ball back. Baseline now, stepping in and finishing again for Marquette. It's Paige Fedorowicz, a freshman from Johnsburg, Illinois.
One of the vulnerabilities that Marquette saw, as you look at the run so far, was the baseline against Michigan State. They went to it, they got it, and they converted.
7 misses you saw on your screen for Michigan State, over 6 minutes of time. A couple of free throws in there, and that was it. Another travel, another turnover for the Spartans. And Marquette is sailing on top of this game at 9:31 to go in the first half. A couple of substitutions. You see Lauren H., number 45 for Michigan State, back on the floor. She's clapping her hands and imploring her teammates to step it up as they line up in a zone look. And Marquette steps into the offense.
And DeHaan out of the game again for Michigan State, so we'll see how the Spartans in that 2-3 matchup zone can hold down Marquette.
Nice drop pass by Angel Robinson, And Paige Fedorowicz takes the basketball up, in, and a foul.
Fedorowicz, another outstanding freshman, no-look pass, threads the needle, finds a seam inside, and she's got the opportunity of the three-point play. But Robinson, the great freshman-to-freshman connection, and gets it for the three-point play.
2+1, good for Paige Fedorowicz. Strong finish with the right hand, protected the basketball. And now Michigan State looking almost desperate already. Maya Johnson with another three try, chased it down and threw it away.
Susie Merchant's squad just does not seem on the same page. Offensively, they're getting penetration into the paint and then they're stopping. They're kicking out and they're not crashing the boards. They've got to regroup and not let this game get out of hand in this first half.
Allyssa DeHaan checks back in, the 6'9" center for Michigan State. Just a short spell on the bench. No good, just missing on the three try. Krystal Ellis and Michigan State with the ball. Maya Johnson, knee brace on the right knee. Missed the first 8 games of the year, recovering from an ACL process. Kalisha Keane, finally a field goal for Michigan State as the Spartans get 2 for the first time in over 7 minutes of clock time on a field goal, and they've got the score to 29-11. They need some D. Perimeter passing and a three-point shot, good again. Angel Robinson from three-point land. And Angel Robinson, the freshman, looking good from the outside.
Well, she was Miss Basketball for Minnesota because she had so many tools. It is uncharacteristic for Marquette to be consistently hitting from this long distance, this consistently, but good for them and good for Keane for getting it done inside.
Kalisha Keane works underneath, basket and a foul. Take a look at that last three-point shot coming off the hands of Angel Robinson. That'll take us to a timeout with Marquette up big in the WNIT championship game on CBS College Sports. At the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan, Michigan State down big, 19 points to Marquette in the WNIT championship game. And Marquette lighting it up on the Spartans' home floor.
Yeah, shooting 60% in the early going. And look what the Spartans did defensively to NC State and Michigan. In fact, they held NC State to just 28 first-half points. Already Marquette has surpassed that with outstanding guard play. They're penetrating, they're getting out on the open floor, they're hitting from long distance. So Susie Merchant trying to make some adjustments on the defensive end, but aggressively, the likes of Keane, the freshman, who's Michigan's all-time leading scorer for freshmen, needs to go to the basket more.
Kalisha Keane, 2+1, the three-point play completed. Marquette 12 of 20. There's a whistle, and it's going to be a foul call. Crowd wanted a carry, but perhaps the carry was brought on by the foul.
Wow, well, it's depending upon how they call it, and they are calling it close. It looked like the carry may have happened before the contact. So I think Susie Merchant has a viable gripe there, but you got to know and keep the pressure on to Marquette.
Kalisha Keane picked up the foul out of bounds on a lost basketball for Marquette. Michigan State gets it back.
If there was one knock on Terry Mitchell's team, and there isn't a lot today, it's like they like to go into microwave form, make things happen very quickly. So sometimes they rush, they get shots off early in the shot clock, and on defense they get over-aggressive. Michigan State needs to take advantage.
DeHaan spins. Works her way free for the basket.
DeHaan has such maneuverability for a 6'9" center. People say, I wonder how good she's going to be able to go. Working both ends of the floor now.
And the crowd enjoys seeing that. Angel Robinson going to the basket. DeHaan sends it away. 146 of those this season. A new Michigan State record, breaks her own she set last year. Got a piece of that shot, but it goes in the basket anyway.
Her teammates have to help her on the defensive end. There was nobody there underneath in the post to help her guard defensively.
Well, Marquette with the basket, and they keep that lead at 18 after Michigan State started to show life. But inside passing gets 2 for the Spartans off the hand of Lauren H.
There is a lot of physicality going on underneath the basket. You could see Marquette just pushing from behind, doing a nice job. Michigan State fought through at that time, converted.
Angel Robinson, athletic breakdown outside, dumps to Kelly Lamb, avoids the 6'9" defense, drops a pass for Jocelyn Mellon.
Again, where's the help for DeHaan on the low blocks?
The extra pass down low, part of the plan for Coach Terry Mitchell. DeHaan will try it from outside, no good. Marquette again pushing the basketball. From the corner, no good. Missing the shot was Tatiana McMorris. Maya Johnson runs and draws the foul.
You see DeHaan just trying to get her breath as she is working so hard both ends of the floor, and then when she gets there on the offensive end, she's getting a lot of pushing. You see her record for blocks this year. She's got 146. That's a new Big Ten record. Outstanding for her. But she is working it and emptying that tank here in the first half. You got to have something left. So the Spartans have one of those famous comebacks that you talked about that in the early going.
Maya Johnson, first free throw, good. Michigan State will send in Alyssa Wolf, who is their top three-point percentage shooter. DeHaan will check out. And you talked about that, Alyssa looking for some breath. There you see Alyssa DeHaan's parents looking a bit concerned in the early going. Second free throw, no good for Maya Johnson. You mentioned that 146 blocks. DeHaan, only a sophomore, just about 90 blocks away from the school record all-time already as a sophomore. Traveling call outside, and another chance for Michigan State to carve away, which will be an ongoing project after the big early hole was established. Watch out, Monfre's back in. She's been able to find a couple of three-point baskets for Marquette. Monfre back on the floor on defense right now as Michigan State has it. Right away, Alyssa Wolf will try that three, no good. Brittany Thomas couldn't get it, but here we go again. Michigan State fighting for the basketball. Score it for Maya Johnson.
You see the pushing underneath. Johnson staying in the thick of it, holding her ground and getting the putback. They realize if they're going to win this game and get back into it, they need to go toe-to-toe with the pushing of Marquette, who's done an outstanding job so far in this first half.
The home crowd hoping they can spur their team along, and they get the block in the basketball. Brittany Thomas dribbles up court. She rebounded a moment ago on the offensive side. 196 rebounds coming into today, most ever by a Michigan State freshman guard. Tough on the boards is Brittany Thomas. Maya Johnson continues to look for offense, and this time it's an offensive foul.
You see Johnson, how tenacious she is. She's got that right knee brace on. She came off an ACL, didn't really play till December, but somebody has got to establish the Spartans on offense. I like her aggressive play. She's kicked it up a notch. See her clapping her hands, trying to get the Spartans and the fans into this game. Maya
Johnson, 17 points to lead the team in their semifinal win over NC State. Continuing today to look for offense. Marquette, 15-point lead. Is it more? Yes. Count the basket for Jocelyn Mellon, the freshman.
Taking advantage of Lauren H. Just a little too slow on the defensive end for Michigan State.
Nice drop pass. Johnson missed the basket. And a rebound foul. That'll go against Maya Johnson.
Marquette, great ball movement. They do a nice job of finding the open player and then hitting it. That's Jocelyn Mellon, another freshman, knocking it down. You talk about the contribution. 6 freshmen on this Marquette squad. Mellon, one of them. She was recruited to rebound, but I'll tell you, she's got a nice touch from 12 feet at end.
Jocelyn Mellon at the line into the bonus now for the Golden Eagles. Missed the front end. Jocelyn Mellon came in averaging 5 points, 4 boards, and she already has 7 points and 4 rebounds. Mellon herself said she was recruited to rebound, but she's scoring today too. 3-point try, no good. Maya Johnson, offensive glass for Alyssa Wolf. Tried again, no good, and this time Marquette gets the loose ball. Ticking down to 4 minutes in the first half of the WNIT championship game from the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. Another bucket for Marquette inside. Continuing to work hard down low, Jocelyn Mellon.
Marquette really forcing Michigan State to play both ends of the floor. The Spartans would love to slow this down on offense, but because Marquette's so aggressive on the defensive end, they're operating in a frenetic pace.
Jocelyn Mellon now with 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Shot clock ticking down to 5 seconds. Kalisha Keane from three-point range, it's good. Gonna need a lot of those. Keane hits one.
When you have a scorer like Keane, played for Canada, the World Championship team, was a leading scorer, let her go to town right now.
A tie-up and an arrow. It will be Marquette basketball. There's a timeout on the floor. Marquette leading by 16 in the WNIT championship game from the campus of Michigan State University. Basketball, baseball, fast pitch, college placement showcases, and more. No agendas, no home cooking. Just professionally organized events in great destination locations. Get in the game at TripleCrownSports.com. Golden Eagles of Marquette University looking for their first ever WNIT championship. They played in it a couple of years ago but lost to Kansas State. Today they're up by 16. Thad Anderson, Tracy Warren at Michigan State, and you see there some field goal numbers early on. Marquette, great shooting in this basketball game.
Yeah, Marquette getting it done from outside again, not known for their three-point shooting, so they're having a tremendous day from outside. Michigan State just 9% from three-point lands.
1 of 11 stepping in on defense. That was Kalisha Keane going down, and she'll draw the foul.
One of the telling stats that we look at is both of these teams have taken the same number of shots from the field goal range. So Michigan State's certainly getting their opportunities. Are they high percentage shots? Maybe not. They'd like to operate from 12 feet and in to use DeHaan a little bit more. For the likes of Ellis, who comes out of the game in that transition game, she's getting a lot of opportunities uncontested.
You saw Krystal Ellis check out. Second personal foul for her. Tatiana McMorris checked in. And a basket for the Spartans. Kalisha Keane. Man, is she good around the basket. And she'll shoot one free throw.
When you've got a scorer, they find a way to get it done. The pump fake for the over-aggressive play, and then splits two defenders, stays strong, knocks it down, and gets to the line for a three-point play. But when you face Marquette, a very physical Marquette team, that's what you've got to do.
2+1 good for Kalisha Keane. And Keane is most of the offense to this point for her Spartans team. 13 points in the game now for Kalisha Keane. Marquette has it back, holding that 13-point lead. There's DeHaan's presence in the paint, partially blocked, and Keane will bring it back.
McMorris running into a roadblock. The young McMorris not working that ball in.
Points in the paint, 20 for Marquette and 12 for Michigan State. Not what you would expect when a team has a 6'9" post, but Marquette has been passing well inside. Here's a take to the left side, and it's good for Satara Washington. And the crowd now has been re-engaged with 2 minutes to go in the first half of action. Marquette has the ball, but the Spartans have the mo. Can the Spartans deny another try by Marquette? Nice drop pass, no good on the shot attempt, out of bounds, Marquette basketball. There was Jocelyn Mellon again, receiving the pass from Erin Monfre. Mellon has been great inside today.
Using that baseline, again, Terry Mitchell, outstanding game plan. You see Michigan State got the offense going, Terry Mitchell trying to go baseline, but these two teams are like two prize fighters, keep throwing punches.
30-second timeout taken by Terry Mitchell on the Marquette bench. Michigan State has drawn it back to an 11-point contest. The Spartans of the Big Ten facing the Golden Eagles of Marquette from the Big East Conference. And the early going, the wheels really started coming off there for Michigan State, but they've got an 8-0 run going here. They're clawing their way back into it, and if you can keep this crowd engaged, we've seen that Michigan State has the potential to play from 10, 12, 14 behind, just keep themselves going. We've seen Kalisha Keane taking it inside but still scoring 3 points by driving, scoring, and being fouled. She's got a lot of potential to bring them back.
All All Big Ten freshman team. I like what she's doing. She's putting the ball on the floor, taking advantage of the overplay, but she's also rebounding. She's a 6'1" freshman forward doing double duty for the Spartans, really.
Kalisha Keane has started all 36 games in her freshman season for Michigan State. It'll take a village to get it done, but Keane has been the big reason that they've brought themselves back into some excitement. Reverse drive, DeHaan block again. But there was a whistle. We had a tie-up was the call, and the arrow goes to Michigan State. Two blocks on the exchange for Allyssa DeHaan. Dual possession, no bucket, arrow to Michigan State.
They said they were going to go baseline, did Marquette, but they forgot when they went back, there was DeHaan. 1 and 2 blocks. Watch this focus and the great body control by DeHaan. The West Michigan native, great extension. Ties it up, ball Spartans.
Don't know if they called that on the first block or second block on the dual possession, but she is racking them up today. There's another inside shot and a score. Brittany Thomas with the basket for Michigan State, and it's down to a single-digit basketball game. If you were watching about 7 to 8 minutes ago, you're probably surprised right now. Monfre has it, defense by Kalisha Keane. Down to 6 now on the shot clock. Mellon works open, and another basket for Jocelyn Mellon as she shook the defense of Satara Washington.
Nice job of receiving, sealing, turning, shooting.
Wow, Jocelyn Mellon, the freshman from Dixon, Illinois, and Newman Catholic High School, has been huge in the first half. And I'd say that's mildly unexpected just based on season statistics. DeHaan, that was in and out. She'll shoot 2.
You watch DeHaan, and you can almost feel that she anticipates 1, 2, 3 defenders as soon as she touches that ball. So she looks down. She's not phased at all when she has that turnaround, feather touch shot, which 9 times out of 10 you're going to see she knocks it down. But you could see her just trying to catch her breath. Outstanding free throw shooter, works both ends of the floor extremely well.
Boy, and she has not used much iron on the free throws, the net being worn down with DeHaan at the line. She'll shoot 1 more. 5 of 5 for 7 points. And now 6 of 6 from the free throw line, plus a field goal for 8 points. But 6 of 6 on the free throws, and that's big work by DeHaan. Three-point try on the way from Marquette, and again it's good for Erin Monfre. 7 seconds to go. Michigan State, one last chance to score before heading to the locker room. Brittany Thomas drives, no good, and there's the buzzer. Halftime it is, and Marquette has a 12-point lead in the WNIT championship game as the Golden Eagles out of the Big East, Marquette University, halfway home to a WNIT championship title for 2008. Looking forward to the second half of action. We'll kick off halftime by heading back to our CBS College Sports studios, and more championship action coming up as we move our way through the WNIT bracket and finish it off today here on the campus of Michigan State University. "20 minutes in the books from Breslin Center on the campus of Michigan State University. Thad Anderson, Tracy Warren rejoining you on CBS College Sports for the WNIT Championship second half. First half, Marquette has to be happy. They got the 20 minutes they were looking for. Came out, it actually went kind of toe-to-toe the first couple of minutes, and then Marquette just extended. And a couple of performers for Marquette, Jocelyn Mellon and Erin Monfre, making gigantic contributions above and beyond their norms.
It is tough to beat a team who is shooting better than 50% from the field and better than 50% from three-point land. Their guards have got involved in the offense to take some of the pressure off Ellis and Robinson. But when you need Ellis, she is there, draws the contact, and establishes the game early, and then they get it done from the outside. Erin Monfre for 3, and Kovalenko to complement the right side. On the inside, they can get it done too. Ellis the up and under the 6'9" DeHaan, and she's got that dribble drive penetration. It is so tough to stop. Great ball distribution for Marquette, getting Jocelyn Mellon involved in the offense. And oh, what a nice job she's done on both ends of the floor.
Michigan State, meanwhile, some defense finally got this thing slowed down and moved back in the right direction for the Spartans.
Defense starts the offense. It's the blocks from the likes of DeHaan and Keane. They're two forwards who have come up big, and then Keane, who is Michigan State's all-time leading freshman scorer, finally goes to the hole, draws contact. Michigan State has got a lot of opportunities at the lines. They need to keep going there to get back into this thing.
You just saw inside-outside from Kalisha Keane, and she is great around the rim. She can shoot from outside. Just saw a couple of back-to-back clips of Keane doing just that. And that first half, Marquette had a lot of fun, had a lot of run in the game, and Michigan State, a team that has been fantastic. If they're within 5 points, they're usually going to win. They've got to reel it back in by that 5 or 6 minute mark. We'll see what happens second half of the WNIT championship game from Michigan State University. Halftime at the WNIT championship game. The kids enjoying themselves. Green and white all over the building, but a large crowd of Golden Eagles fans also assembled here today. Good fun throughout the course of the WNIT. For 2008, 48 teams started this thing off. We've got 2 left, Marquette and Michigan State. First half statistics on your screen. Michigan State throughout the course of the year held their opponents to very low field goal shooting, and that's not the case today, Tracy Warren, as Marquette hits 55% in the first half.
Yeah, thanks to the likes of Erin Monfre, who has really opened it up. The bench point scoring for Marquette has been the difference, as has their second chance points. Their forwards and their guards are crashing the boards. They're getting position, fighting the likes of DeHaan off, so they're able to beat the battle of the boards. They're out rebounding Michigan State by 4 here in the first half. So they've got the numbers, they've got the legs. See if that momentum helps in the second half.
Marquette tallied 14 assists in the first half of action, and that led to some good scoring numbers across the board for the Golden Eagles, led by Jocelyn Mellon, the freshman, with 11 points. Erin Monfre, 3 3-point shots went in for 9 for her. Leading scorer for the team throughout the course of the season, Krystal Ellis, sitting on 9 points. And on the flip side, it's been Kalisha Keane doing the bulk of the work for Michigan State with those 13 points. Allyssa DeHaan with her 8 points, 6 of those from the free throw line in the first half for Michigan State.
Marquette so successful when Ellis steps aside and allows her teammates to step up and get involved in the offense. That was the decision they all came together and started to make towards Big East tournament time. The likes of Jocelyn Mellon, she's taking advantage of that. She's pulling the trigger and not waiting to work it into Ellis.
Jocelyn Mellon, you saw a nice shot of Jocelyn, and she had a great first half. You might have seen that white ribbon on the left shoulder of Jocelyn Mellon and all of the Marquette players. They're wearing those white ribbon patches in honor of Erin Monfre's mother, Maureen, who passed away on January 25th after a long battle with cancer. And Erin Monfre has said that her teammates have really stepped in and been her big support through the process. And you see the tribute right there on the shoulders of all the Golden Eagles players. Second half is underway of the WNIT championship game. And Marquette has the ball. And do they have points? They do. Right out of the gates, it's Svetlana Kovalenko hitting the shot.
Well, you talked about Michigan State's defense. There was none there. Kovalenko had the wide open shot. So Michigan State in their zone, their matchup zone, they've got to be accountable.
For Michigan State, moving to the basket is Maya Johnson. She has been trying to generate offense all game long. She'll draw a foul and free throws.
I like Maya Johnson's aggressiveness in going to the basket, getting these Marquette players in foul trouble, getting their opportunities at the line. Johnson needs to continue to penetrate more.
First free throw good for Maya Johnson, an 83% free throw shooter out of Minneapolis North High School. 2 free throws good for Maya Johnson. And Maya is having a fair contribution so far through the course of this game. 8 points for Maya Johnson, only 2 of 9 from the floor, but 4 of 5 on free throw tries. And 8 points generated. Marquette from way outside, it's Ellis. No good on the 3, but an offensive board for Kovalenko. We've got an injured player. Officials blow the whistles.
Michigan State came out in a man. It took Marquette a while to recognize that. Angel Robinson just kind of writhing in pain after that last set of offense. And that is huge for Marquette, as that is their point guard. All Big East freshman team.
Janelle Harris will inbound, kick ball by Johnson. Offensive rebounds on your screen. Marquette with 7 on the offensive glass. A good offensive rebounding team all year long, along with being one of the top steals teams, 14th in the NCAA this year in generating steals, the Marquette defense. They find a way to find the basketball. Here's a cut. Good pass inside. Ball movement to Mellon. Bounces it off the iron. Offensive board. And it's Kalisha Keane finally for Michigan State.
Good defensive set by Michigan State. Good rotation man-to-man.
Pass into DeHaan. Pushed around. She'll miss the shot, but shoot the free throws.
You know, Thad, I'm not sure why they don't do that all day. I know it's very physical under there for DeHaan, and she is getting pushed off her mark, which is on that low blocks. But you throw that ball in at 6'9". She extends and gets her opportunities at the line. They can slowly chip their way back in. You know, playing in the Big Ten, one of the most physical conferences in the nation, you get used to it. DeHaan said she, was getting used to it last summer, getting used to what she had to do into an established position, getting more confidence, getting more comfortable with the banging around in the low blocks.
You just saw number 1 Angel Robinson check back in after she was dinged up moments ago. DeHaan hits them both. Janelle Harris picked up her 3rd personal foul. 3 fouls for the starter, Janelle Harris. Marquette has it back. Now a 10-point game, wide open 3. Check her back in, she'll get you 3. Angel Robinson from the corner.
Yeah, Susie Merchant just pointing to her team and said, who fell asleep there? Robinson drove in, walked out, spotted up, knocked it down.
Pajowski dishes off to DeHaan, no good, bodies on the floor. Keane takes the basketball and scores. Brittany Thomas again battling down low. A great rebounding guard helped keep it alive. And Keane scores. Monfre, good again.
It is so tough for Marquette. Great ball distribution, different offensive players getting hot on that right corner. Spartans again let somebody go in the right corner.
Monfre 4 of 6 on 3-point tries now and 12 points in the contest. Pajowski no good on the long try. And a rebound foul. Looks like DeHaan will pick up the foul. Marquette basketball. Checking in for Michigan State, Satara Washington, replacing Maya Johnson.
Now this is Robinson. She had just dribbled through the middle, saw DeHaan, decided to veer off right. No one came to guard her. That time, the distribution, the great find for Monfre, again left all alone. And Michigan State preoccupied by the sag. They've got to step out and put a hand in that defender.
Down to 10 a moment ago, back out to 14 points. And a whistle inside. Again, the crowd not in agreement.
Michigan State, Susie Merchant's team, so fearless when they hold teams under 60 points. I think there's something a record of 16-2 when they hold teams under 60 points. Well, look at Marquette. Their offensive explosion has been able to not only give them a lead, but establish the tempo. And that was part of Terry Mitchell's goal, is to get the tempo on their side. Fast-paced transition offense, man-to-man defense, force some turnovers, and use their depth to really, in the second half, wear down Michigan State.
Second foul for Brittany Thomas for the Spartans. 2 free throws for Krystal Ellis. Team's leading free throw shooter at 82%. Hit a couple there. Keane steps underneath but missed the shot and knocked it out of bounds. Basketball to Marquette, and the lead starts to grow again for the Golden Eagles.
See how quick Marquette pushes that ball up? They don't saunter up the floor. You've got to turn around and play defense. That's wearing on you, because as soon as you turn your back, they're ready to push that ball up and have that shot off.
Freshman Satara Washington with a foul. Free throws coming for Marquette. You hear a lot of references to freshmen in this game. Both teams extremely young. And lots of good things in front of both programs. Good coaching staffs on the sidelines and young, capable talent. Free throw line, Angel Robinson puts the first one in.
Yeah,
go ahead, Tracy.
Everybody says you play like a freshman. I really think that's a misnomer anymore. These guys are so seasoned veterans, including Angel Robinson. You consider Connecticut's Maya Moore makes All-American her freshman year. The bar has been raised for freshmen coming in, playing in the Big East, the Big Ten, and conferences throughout the country.
Maya Johnson will check back in for Michigan State. Missed free throw, but The loose ball tipped out of bounds by the Spartans, so Marquette gets another offensive set in the half court. Ellis on the baseline to Kovalenko, who scores.
Great recognition. The double team collapsed when they went baseline. The dish to Kovalenko, she was wide open.
Baseline drive, ball deflected away from Maya Johnson by Erin Monfre, and Marquette has it again, and the 19-point advantage could become 20 plus on this possession. Marquette gave a little ground to start the second half, but quickly turned the ship back around. Here's three from Krystal Ellis. Rebound controlled by Allyssa DeHaan. Inside to Keane, spins, scores. Nice finish by Kalisha Keane.
It's a different game when Keane's working in the post versus DeHaan. She draws contact, spin move, nice composure to get it done. Tell you, her and DeHaan can just play a two-person game. They're doing outstanding on the offensive end.
Ellis too strong on the off-balance shot, coming up to the first stop of the second half. And Spartans looking for points, but we've got an offensive foul as Brittany Thomas drives and picks up the infraction. 16:04 remaining in the second half, 58-41. Marquette leading in the WNIT championship game. Allyssa DeHaan is out, and Lauren H has checked in for Michigan State. Also checking in, Courtney Davidson. Lauren H, post player, a sophomore from Lansing, Michigan, recently changed her number from 5 to 45 to honor her father, who recently passed away, wanted to wear the number. Brittany Thomas on the bench with that third foul. Courtney Davidson therefore checked in. Marquette has it, under 16 minutes now to go in the second half. Angel Robinson has it poked away by Maya Johnson. It will stay with Marquette after this timeout. 17 points, the advantage for the Golden Eagles of Marquette in the WNIT championship game from Michigan State. Southwest Host Services is a proud partner of the WNIT. When you need a hotel for your team, visit southwesthost.com. Thank you, Southwest Host Services. The margin at halftime was 12 points, and Marquette wins the first 4 minutes of the second half, building that lead out to 17. Thad Anderson, Tracy Warren at Michigan State for the WNIT championship game, and not just scoring, but dishing, Tracy.
Yeah, great ball distribution by the Golden Eagles, and 4 players now in double figures. So if you're Michigan State, how far do you extend that zone? How much do you switch on a man? Whatever Michigan State is throwing at Marquette, Marquette is solving.
Krystal Ellis up to 13 points after the 2-point basket coming out of the inbounds play. Lauren H takes the ball inside, right blocks. Fights her way up, and the Marquette defense stays tough. Ellis to the corner, Monfre missed it. Battle for the loose ball, it'll go to Michigan State.
You can count the seconds how quickly 2 teams get on the Michigan State player H when she gets the ball. Robinson comes over and plays some help defense. She turns the other side, there's another Marquette defender. So the help defense by Marquette in the low post has really been part of their success. It's either one and done for the Spartans or they're not getting a shot off.
Paige Fedorowicz wearing 41 for Marquette ended up with the ball after the help on defense, the double up, and a traveling call against Michigan State. Back goes the basketball to Marquette.
That time, H could hear the footsteps of Robinson. She said, you know what, I hear her coming. I just got to get a shot up. In the process, turnover.
These teams have only met one other time in history, back in 2001, when a lot of these players were still only 3 or 4 feet tall. My math could be a little off there. This shot will bounce out of bounds, and Michigan State will have it. So not a lot, for as close as these two schools are, really not much has happened between them, and Marquette today has been superior with 14:50 to go in the championship game.
Take a look at the great defense, producing a lot of turnovers for the Spartans today. And again, Susie Merchant's, one of her goals coming in as first-year head coach for the Spartans are take care of the basketball. And again, it's this frenetic Marquette defense.
There's a drive and a basket for Courtney Davidson. Davidson scores for Michigan State, her first basket of the day on her third shot attempt.
Dribble penetration, a lot of success for Michigan State.
Inside and a foul for Michigan State.
And you want to bring out the red carpet here right now because there is no help from Marquette. Just totally all alone for Michigan State. And why they don't take more options like that. Great recognition by Davidson. Keep it going.
Lauren H. with the foul for Michigan State. Back to the line goes Krystal Ellis, two-time first team All-Big East. Checking in Jocelyn Mellon along with Angel Robinson. Allyssa DeHaan will return for Michigan State. There you see the numbers for Krystal Ellis, 14 points and 8 assists.
Wow, and her numbers have been big this whole WNIT tournament with 40 against Kentucky, 27 against Colorado. She's faced an SEC team, a Big 12 team, she's had success, a Big 10 team, she's having success. And she has been picked at one of the top 5 players at her position in the nation. She just needs to keep it going in next year, her senior year.
Only returning starter from last year's Marquette team that had the best record in school history at 26-7. A steal for Marquette. That's one of their calling cards. Ellis, another assist perhaps? Yes. As Paige Fedorowicz knocks down this shot. Fedorowicz has played well. Who hasn't for Marquette? Three-point try. Courtney Davidson, DeHaan tips, but out to Krystal Ellis, who will re-control. And you don't say it often, they'll slow it down. Marissa Thrower had the basketball. Dish tried to get it back. Last touch by Marquette. Michigan State will take the ball. Kelly Lamb back on the floor for Marquette, and she'll replace Fedorowicz.
A lot of screens being set by Marquette last time down the floor. You see Michigan State trying to fight over them. They've got a lot of bench depth, and those legs are really starting to show here in the second half. You're seeing Michigan State start to get winded, and this is the time they need to kick it up to work themselves back into this game. Establish DeHaan, there she is, get her the ball. Now she's double teamed with the kick out.
Looking for an open teammate, finds Keane, who will draw the foul.
Again, you've got a triangle over there on the offense. You've got DeHaan and you've got Keane. Why you don't get them both involved in the offense when the double team flows to DeHaan? Look, she's got the double team, potentially a triple team. Finally, the cut by Keane. There are 5 defenders overplaying on the right-hand side for Marquette. Quick kick out, ball rotation, shot from the other side. But, you know, again, we can't say enough. This is a young Michigan State squad, 9 underclassmen. And Keane is part of it. She is just a freshman.
Marissa Thrower picked up the foul. Checking in Satara Washington on the court for the Spartans. Keane knocks down the second. It's 64-45. Large deficit. Michigan State will step up the pressure. Out on point pressure there was Takia Fortner for the Spartans.
Take some time off the shot clock. Start to step up now a little bit in that 2-3 matchup zone. Marquette trying to recognize the defense.
Shot no good for Angel Robinson. Again, the ball pinballs on the rebound and out of bounds to Michigan State.
I like that. Susie Merchant is notorious, and again, Terry Mitchell helping her offense recognize. Susie Merchant notorious for mixing up those defenses. She went from a man to a 2-3 matchup zone. Took Marquette time to realize. Now the Spartans got to convert on offense.
Fortner dumps it inside to DeHaan. That's Fortner again, lost the ball. And it's taken by Marquette. Long pass, Robinson. Defense applied by Satara Washington. It will be Marquette basketball. Good hustle by Washington to slow down the hustle of Marquette.
Who gets in the passing lanes better than anyone, but Washington again, great body control. Spartans, they are one great blocking team. Very good on the defensive end.
That was a poster moment. You can see a flashbulb go off in that slow motion replay. That was a fine picture for the Spartans defense. They're going to need some more. Robinson works the perimeter. Shot clock down to 6 seconds for Marquette. Ellis goes to work, and they'll get it back. Now under 12 minutes to go in the second half. Championship game of the Women's National Invitation Tournament. Only 6 college basketball teams remaining in play in the women's side, and 2 of them are here today playing for a championship. Out of bounds it goes. It's going to be Michigan State basketball, but a timeout first. Marquette with a big lead at the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. "19-point advantage for the Golden Eagles of Marquette in the championship game of the WNIT. The broadcast of this game is authorized by CBS College Sports Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description of this game without the express written consent of CBS College Sports Network is strictly prohibited." Thank you for joining us for the capper of the WNIT for 2008. Michigan State has the ball, down big, looking for offense. Brittany Thomas handling on the right side.
You look at a game in 4 different segments. The first 10 minutes, the second 10 minutes, third 10 minutes. We're nearing the final 10 minutes. And Michigan State offensively needs to find a way to solve this Marquette defense. Very frenetic defense. Part
Thomas
of it is ball distribution.
To Washington, who scores.
And penetration. Penetration has been working, whether they convert or they get their opportunities at the line.
Several times today, Tracy, Michigan State has displayed some patience when in big holes, and they just did it again, not just gunning away necessarily. And now they'll pick up an offensive foul that is given by Jocelyn Mellon.
I like Keane's game. Just a freshman out of Ontario, maintains her positioning, draws a foul, and gives the Spartans another opportunity offensively. Tell you, this high tempo pace has forced Michigan State to play both ends of the floor, resulting in more turnovers, more errant passes, but just taking some of the wind out of them on the boards.
Loose ball picked back up by Michigan State. Had to adjust the shot, did Takia Fortner, and that's no good. Ball rolls out of bounds. And Marquette will have it. Checking back in for the Golden Eagles, Erin Monfre, the junior from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
2 very up-tempo type coaches. Terry Mitchell had been Coach of the Year a couple years ago in the Big East. This is a team, Marquette. They were in Conference USA, moved to the Big East, stepped up to the task, made it to the NCAA tournament last year, year before in the WNIT championship. They see a lot of postseason.
Krystal Ellis just checked out with 15 points in the game. She'll be back. Angel Robinson bounces a pass into the paint. Tracked down by Janelle Harris. Shot clock winding down, 5 and under. Robinson sticks it. And the possession arrow to Michigan State. Well, Allyssa could get that for us. There's the shot by Angel Robinson trying to beat the shot clock. And the ball's extracted, and we'll get back to play.
You know, a lot of the shot clock used by Robinson, and what she did is she forced Michigan State to play defense for 30 seconds. And then she launches a shot. Now the Spartans have to come back, and they typically play 30 seconds on offense. So endurance being tested here in the second half. Marquette
shooting near 50%. Meanwhile, Michigan State around 35%. Down by 17. Chance to draw closer. Air ball 3. Grabbed by Washington. Gets it back. Tries again. Nothing doing underneath for Michigan State.
Wow, no call for Washington, but I'll tell you, there's something she's bringing to the floor is weak side rebounding. We didn't see that in the first half for the Spartans.
Janelle Harris had it up top. Monfre on the left side. Drop the pass from Mellon, and it ends up back in the hands of Monfre. Great job of scrapping for the basketball by Marquette. Trying to beat the shot clock again. This time was Angel Robinson. That'll go out of bounds and be Michigan State basketball. Spartans will check Maya Johnson back into the game. She's going to replace. I thought Satara Washington was going to go. We'll see. It looks like Fortner is going to check out. Takia Fortner, the sophomore guard from Flint, Michigan, leaves. I thought Washington might be leaving. Satara working hard on the offensive glass. She looks tired, but they'll keep her on the floor. She's had good energy.
Yeah, both of these teams forced to play the entire possession in offense or defense.
Too strong on the corner try. And a foul on the rebound. Michigan State not in sync at this last few possessions. Just haven't looked like they've had the approach to the basket that they've been able to capture a few times, and Kalisha Keane was a big part of that for a lot of the game. She's been neutralized of late. Good crowd on hand today at Breslin Center. Ranked in the top 10 nationally in attendance for women's basketball, the Spartans, and they brought them out again today. There's a shot block inside.
Wow. Well, DeHaan trying to play her best defense and doing what she does well, and oftentimes that's blocking after the defender has passed her. And they're right, she did initiate contact after the shot on the face right there. And that is a good call by the officiating crew.
Third personal foul for Allyssa DeHaan. First of the 2 free throws for Jocelyn Mellon. Bounces away, no good. Now Satara Washington will check out as Elisa Wolf checks in for Michigan State. Meanwhile, Marquette moving it around like we talked about. They will use just about everybody. Mellon at the line. Down on one of the blocks now is Marissa Thrower. Other side was Svetlana Kovalenko. Also out on the floor, Krystal Ellis and Erin Monfre were there on that last shot attempt. Kelly Lamb coming back in, moving them around. The Golden Eagles, Coach Terry Mitchell feels real comfortable using 9, 10, 11, as you've talked about, Tracy, and they have all stepped in today in the championship game.
It helps when Mellon has a career night and her parents are there watching her. Not necessarily a career night, but she's stepping up and she's outperforming, taking advantage when she's left alone to pull that trigger.
DeHaan spins and will get more free throws.
And with all those bodies, Thad, what they're doing is continually dispensing fouls against Hahn. They will continue to throw fresh legs against her and Keane, so she can't do her most work from 12 feet and in. So what she have to do? She's got to get opportunities at the line.
Svetlana Kovalenko, third personal foul. DeHaan misses this try. She was 8 of 8 from the free throw line before that try. At one point this year, Allyssa DeHaan hit 30 consecutive free throws. That's the 4th longest streak in Spartan history. And she fixes it on the second one and hits that. Now 9 of 10 from the line for Allyssa DeHaan. 11 points and 9 of those from the free throw stripe. Still a comfortable lead for Marquette in the championship game of the women's NIT. Thrower will try the drive. DeHaan blocks it away and out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Marquette.
Good decision by Thrower as she again seeing the man-to-man defense, saw a little bit of a mismatch, got the first step, but DeHaan again, big 6'9" changes the trajectory. Once you get in the paint, you see DeHaan, you've got to make some adjustments. They couldn't be made there. Look at DeHaan wanting the ball. They're not getting her the ball when she's spinning and getting in a position to get the basketball.
Maya Johnson missed it but got it back.
Credit the Marquette guards for denying that entry pass into DeHaan. She has been frustrated all afternoon.
Out of bounds on the turnover, pass wide of Kalisha Keane, and that will lead us to a timeout with Marquette up by 17. It's the championship game of the 2008 Women's NIT. Well, they look kind of happy. They're down by 17, but you're playing basketball in April. That is still a statement about what you've been able to do during the course of a basketball season.
Yeah, Susie Merchant, first year at Michigan State, and what an outstanding job she has done to get this team to 23 wins. A lot of expectations on Coach Merchant. Michigan native, had come from the Division I, then Division II, and then Division I. And she has done an outstanding job. Thought they should have made it to the NCAA tournament because they've got such a great RPI. They didn't, but for them to make it to the championship of the WNIT, first-year head coach at Michigan State, and with a young squad, outstanding job for Coach Merchant.
Erin Monfre again from long range. What a day for Erin Monfre.
And what a timeout for Terry Mitchell. She does a good job of making adjustments and wants that ball to get to her guards from long distance. That's like the 3rd timeout they've called, and a guard has converted from downtown. take a look again for Marquette. Wide open out of the break. Erin Monfre's been taking advantage of that side all afternoon long because no one from the Spartans is coming up to guard her. But that's a called play for Terry Mitchell out of the timeout.
5 of 8 on three-point tries for 15 points for Erin Monfre. And the threes will not fall for Michigan State today. But Keane with the rebound. No good on the spin try. Under 7 minutes to go in the second half, and a slash by Marissa Thrower.
Boy, you can tell it's so easy when Ellis finds the open player in Thrower who's got fresh legs.
There's a three-point basket by Maya Johnson, and that is the first in a long time. 2 of 16 on three-point tries now are the Spartans, just the second that they've hit in 17 tries.
Talking junior to junior, this is Ellis, who's got a 2-on-1, recognizes it, threads the needle, and there is Thrower, another junior who knocks it down. Ellis loves the open court, and they've got a beat on the defender, and Thrower knocks it down.
At the free throw line, Marissa Thrower. So Tara Washington checks back in for Michigan State for Marquette. Tatiana McMorris and Angel Robinson return to the court. Big hand for Erin Monfre, who checked out. And Krystal Ellis also having a chair.
You look at this Marquette team and you say, how can they lose in the Big East when they're clicking on all cylinders? I mean, sure, they face Connecticut, they face Rutgers, they face Notre Dame, but Terry Mitchell says we are playing together better than we ever have. So much so, this is their longest winning streak of the season in this WNIT tournament.
They had not lost or won more than 2 games in a row during the course of the year. They've put 4 together in the WNIT, trying for a 5th and the trophy. Johnson to the basket, no good, and back to Marquette it goes. Well, the Golden Eagles now are re-controlling all aspects. Three-point try, down and back up, no good. Shot there by Tatiana McMorris, and Michigan State will try to get it back down under 20. Keane, right side is good. 72-53 with 5:40 left to go in the second half.
Keep your eye on Keane. I think she's going to be a player all throughout her time here at Michigan State. She has a nose for the basket, plays some tough defense, rebounds, a great court awareness for her.
Angel Robinson now into single digits on the shot clock. 7 seconds. 2 free throws coming up. Brittany Thomas picks up the foul. For Brittany Thomas, that should be her 4th personal foul. And it is 4 fouls for the freshman Brittany Thomas, who has been huge in her freshman year. 8 games this year. She played all 40 minutes of the contest. Has started all 36 games for her Spartans.
See some more fresh bodies coming in for Marquette. They can keep that up-paced tempo on offense. They can work with that great tenacity on defense because they've got that 10 deep on their bench. And that's a hallmark of Terry Mitchell. She typically utilizes the entirety of her bench to wear people down.
Kovalenko and Mellon were the most recent check-ins. 2 more quality performers today for Marquette. Every time somebody comes in, replacing someone else, they all have smiles. Everybody's played great for Marquette today. Keane gets the pass inside. And she'll shoot 2 free throws. 4th personal foul for Marquette's Svetlana Kovalenko, who I mentioned earlier has set a school record for most games played at Marquette. Kovalenko leads the team in blocks and rebounding this year, 7 boards a game, and has started all 34 games for the Golden Eagles. 1 more free throw coming up for Keane.
Yeah, and you like Keane. She's more of a 3, been pushed into a 4 due to injuries. Wearing Magic Johnson's number, 32, switched to that number and said, you know, that was her favorite player. He played for Michigan State, and who knows if she could do similar things and go to greatness like Magic Johnson did on the court.
We're in a building where his number hangs in the rafters. Irvin Magic Johnson, 33, up on the rafters of Breslin Center. Didn't play here. Building wasn't constructed at that time, but he's honored in the building. Also playing today on a floor that Michigan State won a men's national title on in the year 2000. They bought the floor and play on it here at Breslin Center. Traveling violation for the Spartans. There you see a look at the rafters. Pretty impressive when you walk in here to see the names that are part of the lore of Michigan State basketball.
Yeah, and you see Johnson 33. Of course, Keane 32. She says that's the number that she got closest to Johnson, but there is so many great players that have played there. It's become a tradition of greatness, both men's and women's basketball here in East Lansing.
Also a Final Four national finalist banner in the rafters for the women's team from 2005. As Marquette gets another bucket, and this time Janelle Harris scores her first time in the scoring column today.
Nice.
Spartans basket scored by Brittany Thomas, who rolled her eyes after it went in the hoop.
Saying it's about time. Great ball distribution. She was left open. It's about time. Perhaps a little bit too late, but again, recognizing those opportunities as a freshman, going to carry over into your sophomore, junior, and senior years.
Three-point try on the way, too strong, and Brittany Thomas rebounds as she's done well all year long. Marquette, when they score over 70 points this year, they are 13-1, and it would appear today that they're going to add another win to that statistic. Out of bounds goes this pass, and that's going to take us to a timeout. Marquette with a 20-point lead in the championship game of the 2008 Women's National Invitation Tournament. We've got 3:05 remaining until it's trophy time, and the Golden Eagles fans are starting to sense it's coming back to Milwaukee. The Big East on top of the Big Ten in the WNIT championship game for 2008, and it's smile time over on the bench for Marquette. Highly unlikely that this will slip away. They've played great basketball today, and they are deserving of a crown this year. They look like they may have earned it for head coach Terry Mitchell.
Great team basketball because we saw so much production from the bench for Terry Mitchell. Their bench accounted for 1/3 of all their scoring, and they gave up fouls to attack DeHaan, to attack Keane in the low post on the defensive end. They have just turned a corner for Marquette.
Three-point basket good for Brittany Thomas. 75-58 after the three-point basket.
And credit their offense, no matter what Michigan State threw at them. And Michigan State, again, #1 in the Big Ten in field goal defensive percentage. Marquette adjusted. They hit from the outside when they faced zone. They penetrated when they saw man. When they were trapped, they broke through it and got opportunities. So this is a team, great recognition by their point guard in Robinson, and great opportunities to score.
Ball slapped away into the Marquette cheerleaders, and Marquette will keep the basketball. Coach Terry Mitchell mentioned the move to the Big East was big for this program out of Conference USA. Those things you just talked about, Tracy, the adjustments and the attacks, they are battle-tested coming out of that Big East. H turns, gets it back, reverses it, and scores +1. Lauren H with the basket.
And you'd like to see more of this from Lauren H. The sophomore, just bang, draw contact, go up strong, go back again. The tenacity for her, outstanding.
Fifth foul for Svetlana Kovalenko, the senior for Marquette, gets a big hug from her head coach. And remember, that's a player who set the record for most games played at Marquette. Great career for Kovalenko.
And the only senior for Marquette, so imagine what they're going to be like next year. Back in Big East play.
Courtney Davidson hits the three-point basket after the missed free throw. So that's a 5-point trip down the floor. Basket by H, followed up by a three by Davidson on that half-court set. Tatiana McMorris from the Bronx, a freshman, handles the basketball. Marquette letting some clock wind away with 90 seconds left in this game, back to 12 points on the scoreboard, the difference. And way down on the shot clock, a foul comes from Michigan State.
Well, you can just sense the excitement from Marquette. This means something to win a WNIT championship. Remember, they will tell you 2 years ago where they were in the WNIT championship and lost. They went on to have one of their better seasons, go into the second round of the NCAA tournament. So this is a happy group of campers, because losing one senior, the anticipation for next year and the expectation is going to be that much higher.
Kalisha Keane picked up the foul, her third. Marissa Thrower has stepped to the sideline. Angel Robinson, along with Courtney Weibel, backing the free throw shooter who hits her second, Tatiana McMorris. And it puts the lead back at 14. Quick offense needed for Michigan State. Davidson inside, spins but won't go. Thomas with the save, back out to Keane. Tries the three and hit it. Well, here they come on the threes finally. It took a while, but they're falling now for Michigan State. According to the stats we're being fed, 5 of 21 now on three-point tries.
Yeah, and credit Susie Merchant. She says, come on, let's press them. We're still in this game.
Under 1 minute left in the championship game of the WNIT. Marquette up by 11. Robinson fouled on her way to the basket.
You can see just periods of greatness for Michigan State. They lost basically their big forward in Aisha Johnson to injury. They've recovered. They've got glimpses of greatness. But Terry Mitchell and Marquette, they had waves of greatness with their guard play and their outstanding defense. And they have just made a remarkable performance here in East Lansing.
There you see a look at the freshman Brittany Thomas, who finishes her freshman campaign fouling out of this game with 7 points. Checking out also, senior Elisa Wolf gets a big hand from the Michigan State fans. And senior Courtney Davidson, a couple of senior curtain calls. Classy move by Susie Merchant. You would expect that from both of these coaches who know not only how to coach basketball, but how to treat people. Angel Robinson, meanwhile, at the line, hits the free throw for Brittany Thomas, who fouled out. Talked about that great freshman season. Came out of Bolingbrook High School in Illinois and established herself as a key contributor for the Spartans. She'll be back for a lot more. 2 free throws good for freshman Angel Robinson. Amazing freshman talent out here. Passing lane jumped, but unsuccessfully by McMorris. Spartans still playing hard. That ball got loose. I think it got on the end line. It did, out of bounds. Spartans will have it underneath.
You look at Allyssa DeHaan and how spent she is, and she gives so much of herself to this sport. Tell you, with a great supporting cast, this team is going to go far next year. Only a sophomore, but she has played both ends of the floor, just pushed around. Very, very tough competitor.
There you saw Allyssa DeHaan, 11 points today, 4 rebounds. She had, I believe it was 6 blocks in the end.
One of the ways to beat Allyssa DeHaan and company is to have a game plan where all your team steps up. And Terry Mitchell came in and said, we were going to go at DeHaan, just like we went at Jackie McFarland at Colorado. We were going to try and neutralize her and then use our guards to open things up from the outside, and it's nice when the game plan works.
Free throw good for Angel Robinson, who will shoot again into double digits for Robinson. Now with 16 points. And Marquette will wind it down. H turns and shoots. Rebound for the Golden Eagles. And they should be able to wear it out right here for the championship of the WNIT. First time they've done that. Head coach Terry Mitchell, 12 years with the program, holds all the coaching records for Marquette. And she adds a new line to the resume. Congratulations to the Golden Eagles of Marquette University, champions of the 2008 Women's National Invitation Tournament. Your final score, 15 points the difference. Marquette wins it on the campus of Michigan State University, champions for 2008 in the WNIT. Awards presentation underway. Post-game of the championship for the women's NIT. Thad Anderson, Tracy Warren wrapping it up from Breslin Center in East Lansing. And Tracy, I think this was a concern coming into the game. I think Marquette knew if we could establish what we do early. I think Michigan State knew if we don't unestablish what they do early. I think a lot of people we talked to said, ooh, that'll be the one problem. And early on, Marquette was able to get that athleticism, but just great shooting was really what complemented their style of play.
Yeah, transition offense, tenacious defense, which got in the passing lanes, forced turnovers, and then the icing on the cake is their great outside shooting, the complement of guards who also crash the boards. Where do you take this if you're Marquette? You get ready now, go back in the Big East play and say, we belong in that NCAA tournament. It's not just about Krystal Ellis. We've got a full complement of players on our squad.
Impressive performance across the board, and just like you said, Tracy, this is something to build on. It's something to enjoy and build on. You see that trophy on the table as Marquette is receiving the top honors for the WNIT. It was 4 different players today for Marquette who made it into double figures, led with 16 points by Angel Robinson, but 15 apiece for Krystal Ellis and Erin Monfre, and 12 points for Jocelyn Mellon. They spread it around well, and those minutes, not only the points, but the minutes are spread around so well on this team. You can see how Coach Mitchell uses that full team, and they all feel like they're part of the win. The final game of the WNIT for 2008 has been won by Marquette. The Golden Eagles are champions. Congratulations to Michigan State, a great run to the 48-team bracket. It's Marquette who takes it home 81-66 for our fine crew, our producer-director John Claybrook, and our production facilities through Metro Sports of Kansas City. And for Tracy Warren, I'm Thad Anderson saying thank you for joining us for the championship game of the 2008 WNIT, the champions, the Golden Eagles of Marquette.